Hello and welcome. This is my combat DevBlog number 2 for NasoScape, a MMORPG that is based on ancient Greece with some flares of other games you may know. The game is in active development and I've been at it for a long time, but finally tying the project back together and making it something that's playable. On and off for many years, I've been developing an Unreal Engine, based MMORPG, and I never tied it all together, and so that's what this is. So I've independently created a chat system, I've created an inventory system and a banking system. My latest addition is a combat system. This is my second iteration of it, and I've put some work in it. I'm excited to show you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. First off, let me show some of the niceties, I guess, of the attack tab. This one's pretty straightforward. It's just a switch between the different styles. There's a stab style, a slash style, and a defensive style. Stab gives attack XP, slash gives strength, defense gives defense. Auto retaliate is if you get attacked, you will attack back automatically. If you don't want that, you can turn it off. In this case, I'll leave it on. These are some skills. Of course, I granted them to myself to make this video for you guys. Ideally, a player would work for these, but in order to show the content, I gave myself a little advantage, right? Just a little one, just going to max level and whatever else have you. And then I spawned myself some items, which we'll get into in a moment. You can see here that there's actually quite a lot of skills that have been implemented. Skills are just something you could do in game. They'll be required for quests, for unlocking higher tiers of armor, quite potentially getting into different raids. We have smithing here, we have fishing, cooking, fire making, wood cutting, and fletching is underway. I have not rolled it out just yet. Same with agility. That's effectively the stamina skill. Higher it is, the more you can run, the farther you could go. But let's talk about some of the combat skills. So we have attack, strength, defense, ranged, piety, magic. Pretty cool stuff, and this is all implemented, so all of these magics, all of these pieties, or prayers to the gods, if you will, because this is ancient Greece-inspired MMORPG. And there are various things that they do once you accomplish that level and what you could do with it. So, there is 3 protection prayers at this point in the game. I guess let's go over to the piety tab. One is protect from melee damage, so if it's a melee monster, melee-based monster, that'll block 100% of its damage. We have ranged defense and magic. If someone casts a spell on you, this will block 100% of that damage. So, with no more further ado, let me show you a bit about the combat system and how we use piety, the different magic options, and I'll even show you a bit about ranged and melee. Right, so first off, I've showed you a bit about piety, but there's another cool feature here. You could set up quick prayers, if you will, quick pieties. So this already is designed to understand which can overlap and which cannot. You could imagine if you could turn these all on, it would be kind of broken. You would give yourself a boost across the board. So what I've done here is you can only use one protection prayer at a time. So it won't let you select multiples. And then you can only boost a particular stat in a particular direction. Defensiveness can go across the board, but you can't pair strength and then magic boost together as an example. Right? You gotta pick one or the other. Later spells will definitely have, you know, more hybriding options. But yeah. So here we go. I've set up my quick purge. You'll see now when I press this button, it'll turn them on and off really fast. Let's say you have one that's already on. Well, it'll turn it off and you can turn back on the new one. If you're running low on piety points, you can come over here and recover some. Yeah, back to 99. Let's start off with a really strong magic attack. Well, he's going to attack me first, and my character's going to respond, so I suppose I'll show you how that works. Please do not mind the directionality. I will definitely get that buttoned up, but what's important to note here is you see my hit points going down, his are going down, and I'm getting attacked. Which is cool. I'll cast a magic spell on him so you can see that in action. The GFXs are still a work in progress, but there is some nice, you know, as you can see, that did quite a lot of damage. Again, I also have range. Let me show you what that looks like here in my equipment tab. So this bow gives me +8 range attack, and it also gives me +7 range strength for the arrows. So pretty cool. You know, there's different pieces of armor that do different things. You can't wear a bow and a shield at the same time because, you know, they go in the same hand and whatnot. But yeah, when this NPC respawns, you can see also drop loot that I can pick up. We will get attacked and we'll auto-retaliate with the range attack. I could also just attack him, but, you know, what fun would that be? I did grant myself, you know, 99s, so I am hitting quite high. But, yeah, you can attack with either the accurate mode, the rapid mode, and the long range. Similarly, in Magic, there is a staff that you can spawn as well that lets you auto-cast. If you don't have that, then you're stuck just manually casting and clicking. So, yeah, and so you can see my health has been reduced a bit. You can see that, I guess, in the process that we have some nice pathing going on here. It shows on the minimap, shows you where you're going to go. That doesn't only work for just walking, that's also for object interaction and NPC combat. So if I touch the bank, I haven't done anything since it's going to walk me up to the bank. And you can see here I have some food. I'll just grab those out that I pre-fished. There's a fire over here. I'll just go ahead and cook these on here, and you'll see when I eat them that, you know, I'll gain some health back. So I'm at 81, I take a bite, 84, it's a shrimp, you know, it is what it is. I'll drop the burnt one on the ground. Of course, you can light your own fires. This one is just convenient, and so I decided to use it. You can see all the trees that were in the catalog, or the skills guide rather, are all here. So all the rocks, the mining guide are here. You could smith all of the bars at the furnace, or craft them into armor at the anvil over there. So, yeah, I mean, banking is fully working. I could show that. You know, you can move things where they belong. I apologize for the intermittent black screening. For whatever reason, when I move things to different tabs, the capture software doesn't like that very much. But yeah, it totally works. I can step away, I can log off, I can log back in, and I can even change worlds, and it'll still be there. So let's change a different world. Load back in. You can see my stuff is still here. All persistent. Yay. Let's say you wanted to see the pathing to a monster. These are some of the procedurally generated monsters that I'm building actually with artificial intelligence. So they're a bit wonky. I'm trying to build that pipeline up so I can get better at it. But yeah, you can see my character path right to it. I can step away again and show you what that looks like. So I'll click back, and he paths to it and fights it. Yeah. Again, be gentle in the directionality. Alright, that's about it. The next video you should see a nice update on player trading, shops, and potentially expanding beyond just this open world and maybe building our first quest. So that'll be some exciting stuff. song, I suppose, just to show that off. There's, you know, different songs you can listen to on here. So, yep. But that's about it. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye.